Greetings everyone and welcome. Hey, thank you for joining me. This is Capricorn's reading for August. Now I'm starting off with Capricorn because we have just come out of the eclipse season. We've had the last eclipse just recently in July the 4th or 5th, and I am uploading this reading not long after that on July the 9th, and the eclipse was in Capricorn energy. So I thought I would pull this reading for you guys first. I have some Capricorns in my home, and I know there is a lot going on around them and a lot for them at this point in time, so I'm thinking a lot of you might be in the same circumstances. What we can say is, yay, the main part of the eclipse season for this year has gone. We do still have two more, I think in November or December. We've had more eclipses this year than normal. I think there's 6 in total. And these eclipses have been very potent and powerful. And we can see that collectively around the planet with the amount of, I would say, turbid energy and like just murkiness, cloudiness, uncertainty, shift without doubt. So shift is one of the big key words for the year 2020. But extrapolate that out and take the word shift for the decade of the 20s, because this, in my mind, is going to be one of the most powerful decades to set the tone for the whole future of the way humanity evolves, works, and understands life on the planet. So yeah, we're into big times, and there's no denying that big times collectively affect us in a big way individually as well. But at least as we move into August, we have kind of gone over the crest of the wave, and we are coming down a little bit in terms of galactic and celestial energy. August is a lot quieter. We have Uranus going retrograde on the 15th of August, and we have the Lionsgate portal on the 8th of the 8th. So the Lionsgate portal can proceed and produce quite big energetic waveforms around the planet, and it can often be seen physically. That's a new word. It can often be seen physically in spectrum ways, like through energies of the sun, because it's very highly tied into the sun's energies. But that aside, let's just hop into your reading and see what comes. Now, I'm using the John Holland Psychic Tarot, which is one of my favorite decks, a normal tarot card, a light coded language deck, and then this one at the end over here. We will see if we get that far, because this is a very new deck that I have purchased, and it's a whole new concept. I think there could be quite a bit of fun in it, but I'm still working my way through it myself as well. I will show you what it is. It's the Visionary I Ching. So a little bit different from tarot, but it's one of the oldest forms of divination on the planet, and it's a particularly methodical, non-linear, non-dimensional, if you like, way of divination. So it's a very interesting thing. Let's get into your cards and start for Capricorn for August, over the crest of the wave, as I say. And I wonder if that could be categorical or more, in as much that we are over the crest of the wave of the event, you know, the big V. I'm not sure yet about that, whether or not we have more of that. Hypothetically, they're talking that we are evolving into the bigger numbers now around the globe. So I do still think we're in a crisis mode in the pandemic state. It's just sweeping through the other areas of the globe that it hadn't originally been in. But technically there's also talk of a potential second wave coming to those areas that had it at the beginning of the year. Oh, seriously, we could write 2020 off, couldn't we? This card was one of the first out, which is Sacrifice, number 12. This is the Hanged Man, and this is about timing issues and being stalled in time, and also having to make a choice about directions. And then you have the Nine of Swords, Suffering in Silence. So these two cards here could be suggestive of a little bit of a feeling of angst, or being caught in something that you can't see a direction or a way out, feeling trapped, or being at a crossroad in life and being anxious about the direction you are taking. And it might be that the crossroads have occurred not because of your own doing, and I'm thinking of things like this event that's taken place since the beginning of the year. because a lot of the things that have happened within the event have led a lot of people to a juxtaposition in life where they're at a crossroads that they had no intention of being at or no idea could happen either. Let's see what this other card was that came out. That's a really nice one, and it did come out third. That is the Fool, the new beginnings. So it's almost as if you are in a place here initially where you are contemplating, what do I do, where do I go? There's anxiety around it. In this particular deck, she definitely is looking very far into the future, trying to gauge some sort of horizon or event horizon. I'm getting the feeling as if time is playing a role here, and I could be getting a bit off track, but I'm thinking time as in timelines, extended time, events that are caught in time anomalies or past lives. You know, I've talked a lot about this, and I still feel it keeps regurgitating itself month after month this year, and it's all about karmic energies. It's about endings of cycles that may have gone on for many, many years, maybe a 9-year cycle, maybe a 9 lifetime cycle. And when these events come about and they change and they move into some sort of new direction, we can find this epiphany or release coming to us, either physically or through mental or spiritual awareness and awakenings, and these can be discombobulating and they can create anxiety and a little bit of stress. So I'm thinking that for a lot of you there could be a very deep surge of energy moving through in the background that's creating this intense change at many levels for you, in many perhaps dimensions and timelines and lifetimes, that is leading to the new beginnings of the Fool. So the Fool is all about this whole regeneration of evolution for you in this lifetime, and it's about learning and understanding some of the lessons you have learnt along the way and incorporating them into your life and understanding why they occurred. And when we do that, we can drop off some of the anxiety or the tension that can come with it. When he says suffering in silence, it makes me feel that some of you have either felt very alone or that you have not been able to share a problem that you have had, which could be an emotional problem or even a problem surrounding communication with someone. So it could be communication at work, or it could be communication within close relationships. Maybe someone isn't listening to you. They're not hearing what you have to say, and they're not understanding it as well. Now, the other thing that this card can highlight is dreams, so really vivid dreams, and it can also highlight insomnia. So the need to find relaxation when we are heading into sleep and learning how to relax the body. And this can also be a little bit of this card's message. Now, she is doing, in essence, some sort of, it looks to be like a yoga pose or a deep stretch. So stretching and yoga can be very cathartic and beneficial if you are having emotional turbulence or turmoil, because it's relaxing. Also, breath work is very enhancing for reducing tension and anxiety, fears and phobias. And there's many different places you can access good breath work indicators and systems in place. The Sacrifice card, or the Hanged Man, is also very much about understanding an evolutionary cycle of life that has entered into your being and current existence, which could lead you to this new beginning. It's an epiphany and awareness that comes through the mind and the understanding, both at the physical level but also at the spiritual, conceptual level. So it can be very much about a growth of you as a person, shifting away from perhaps material dynamic into more of a heightened awareness of your soul's journey or a spiritual evolution. And that is also what the Fool can mean as well. Now the Fool can be about shifting house if we're talking it more more physically. Some of you may shift homes, some of you may temporarily shift or head off in a new direction, which could also be around a job, so employment. It could be a new philosophical direction, a belief system, attaining some kind of wisdom. And it could be wisdom within a job. It could be a new promotion that is coming too within a job cycle. The Fool is always pictured on its own. So the Fool is very much about you individually and your awakening or your awareness of this ability to go out and to grow and to head in new directions. But it can also be about, not that this is so likely at the moment, but it can be about traveling the world or shifting around the world. Some of you may be living currently in a place where you need to shift from, and you might be heading back to your home country, for instance, and starting afresh there, completely afresh. New job, new home, new friends, new directions, everything. And that is happening for a lot of people globally because of this situation that we are in, of course, with the event. I call it the event because, well, if you use the words on the channels at the moment, if you use the specific words, you can find yourself in a bad place. They'll put a blacklist against your channel and they will stop your videos from getting out. So I think everyone currently is not using that particular phrase, and they're just so that their work can still be aired and got out to the public. They're being careful about what they say. Just while we're on that, I did mention in the July uploads to please sub the channel and hit the notification button. And also, if you would check, if you were previously subscribed to me, are you still subscribed? Because a lot of people have been unsubscribed. There's obviously something a little bit off going on in the background of some of these giant corporations. So these ones here have popped out from the other tarot deck. So I have used 2 tarots. Now you also have two aces that have popped out from here, and the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is very much associated with moons and often ecliptical energy, and I refer to that. She has also become very aware at an esoteric level, so she has this cosmic knowledge, awareness and understanding, and that can be considered her growth, and it ties in very well with the Fool energy and even the Hanged Man energy. These are the philosophical souls of the major arcana in the tarot deck, and these are the people who are becoming wiser on their journey of life and understanding that we're not just in a 3-dimensional world, that we are evolving as a race, as a species of humans, and as collective, if you like, on the planet, or with Mother Earth's energy. We are all rising in frequency, and we are opening to the awareness of different dimensions and understandings and knowledge, and the High Priestess is definitely this. Now, she can also represent heightened awareness in your own physical presence. You might find that other people could be very attracted to you at this time, and it can be a time or an opportunity for new romance. And the Ace of Cups can also talk about new, deep love romance or enhanced awareness of spiritual love that can be very deeply uniting within relationships. Both of these cards also have a degree of fertility within them, so it could be fertility of ideas and concepts, or planting new seeds, such as the Fool also allows. So this can be new contract signs, new ideas coming into your mind, the making of something, the designing of something, the production of something. It can be the conception of a pregnancy, or it can be the growth of a family, like an extended family blooming or flourishing or coming together. This is possibly new love. It can also be very, very deep spiritual activation and awareness as well. This card is one of the most beloved in the deck. It holds a great deal of high celestial energy and white light coming in from very high vibrational realms, and it can give you messages through the mind, through the crown chakra that illuminate your whole journey in life and give you this, I don't know, like a bliss or euphoria, and an understanding of certain things that you're going through and why they're happening. The Ace of Swords can come to us after a success that has been a pain. Often it can turn up if a divorce is imminent or a business is being sold and you have success in the sale of the business and you get to recoup some funds that may have been previously inaccessible. It could be that you win a law case and you are paid back some money that was owing. So oftentimes this is about hard work where it's been a problematic issue, but it's coming into fruition of success and often bodes well for yourself. So it could be that some of you are finalizing a divorce or a separation and then you meet someone who you are very deeply attracted to, and it could be a new potential partner. It could be that you've already met this partner and this relationship is flourishing and you are being allowed to be freed up from the previous relationship, which could have been a karmic relationship that has been going for many lifetimes and timelines, but it's allowing you the new beginnings. And this is why you might have been suffering in silence. You see, the aces are new beginnings, if you like. So all aces are new beginnings. So you're being granted these amazing new beginnings at this point in time, but I have a feeling that they haven't all come easily to you, that there may have been some deep, profound, maybe pain that has come with it and suffering that has been either reawakened, reestablished, or freed up. It might be that you have been living with some of this type of energy for some time and you're finally feeling that you understand why, or that you comprehend it, or that you accept it, or that you know that nothing stays the same. Actually, I had written some things down last week for some various work that I was doing, and one of the sayings that came to me was, healing must precede evolution. And then I had this beautiful little saying that I wrote down, and it's quite powerful, and it just came to me, and it says, I am that I am whole, I am free, I am me. And I think a lot of these cards in your reading are really talking strongly about messages like that, those little positive affirmation phrases that you can use and utilize and hold on to. These two are quite intense. This is the 9 of Swords and this is the 10 of Swords, but because they've come out together, there's so much talking about this energy that's coming all in all at once and sort of blasting through and opening up to allow for these aces to propagate in your life and for you to see these new beginnings. The new beginnings are technically, I've done it the wrong way around, they're technically behind this. So this energy might be here first, like a sweeping away of the old, a realization, a breakthrough, a painful event, a painful accumulation of stuff that's been going on. And it could be physical health for some of you. It might be emotional trauma. It might be relationship trauma. It could be financial or job related. For each of you, it's going to be your own personal trials and tribulations and pathways that you are pondering upon and that you're going through at this point in time. But you're not alone. So many are going through it. And this card often represents that you're in the dark, but the day is coming. And this one also is possibly the sunrise coming, but she has been sitting there for a long time atop this mountain, suffering and worrying about something. Some of you may feel that there has been a bandwagon of people against you, and they may have been people that you thought you could trust. And so that might be now why you are wanting to walk out on your own and put your trust into yourself. You don't necessarily need others at this time. It feels to me as if you've learned a lot through things that you have been through in the past, and for a lot of you it's a deeply emotional journey. As for some of you, that this 10 of Swords might well be related to the Ace of Swords, this feeling of somebody pained you or backstabbed you or did something to you that you couldn't see coming. And sometimes this would be a personal relationship, such as a marriage or a long-time commitment, and they've defaulted and the relationship has been severed finally, which allows you the freedom to move into this potential new attraction and conceptions and ideas, maybe relationships, maybe business ideas. You know, these could have even been business partnerships that you've been involved with in a career one way or another. So a lot of intense messages coming through there for you, Capricorn, and I do feel that right now you guys are sort of fairly in the thick of things. Let's have a look at these cards. These are the Secret Language of Light by Denise Jarvie, and she is a beautiful connector to the light energies. So I'm just shuffling these for Capricorn for the August reading. What would you like them to understand, meditate, focus on for August as we move through this year of 2020 with its tumultuous background, synergy and energy path? Nourish, to nourish yourself. And to nourish could mean many different aspects in life. It could nourish the physical body. It might be to nourish the spiritual or emotional in particular. And I do feel that there are a lot of emotions going on in the background for you guys. And some of them are cleansing and moving them away and preparing yourself to come into the next cycle and into the light. So let me find what the book says about this, because I think the words might be worthy of reading. It seems a fairly quite intense message, and these cards are divined from the energy of sacred geometry and light language that comes to us from the stellar or celestial realms. So I will read to you from the book. You are love and you are loved. This image consists of your soul star, Gaia, the soul of earth, and the divine cleansing that is expanding the love of all. Honor your temple, your body, for it is the physical manifestation of your soul. In doing so, you honor earth, for she is the physical manifestation of Gaia. Don't judge your environment or your body. Just be discerning about what you focus on and digest what feels helpful. Gaia knows how grateful you are because you are here. She wants to remind you that worthiness and ease are your birthright. You are creating beauty, intimacy, and deeper connections with Gaia and your higher self just by playing on earth. Feel Gaia's loving embrace everywhere, in nature, a backyard, a pot plant, or your mind's eye. If there is something you want to change about you or Gaia's body, connect with your soul and be inspired by a new path that will lead you to your desire. On this planet, all is forever moving into more and more love. Now, there's a soul mastery class that you can do with this card, so it's kind of like some homework if you're interested. It's to relax your body and mind and nourish your soul. And there's a meditation here. So place the card at your heart and close your eyes. Now, you could either place your device that you're looking at this on at your heart, or you could take a picture of this and then print it off and utilize that photo that you've taken to do the following. So I'll read it again. Place the card at your heart and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and move your awareness to a place within that feels balanced and soft. As you breathe out, let go of any resistance in your body or mind, anything that feels hard. Focus on your breathing until your whole body feels soft and relaxed. Take as long as you like. Focus on feeling. And know you can control how you feel by focusing on the softness within you. If you find yourself being distracted by the outside world or your thoughts, gently bring yourself back to your breathing and your soft inner world. Float in this space for at least a minute and allow your soul to reveal your highest, most loving, most fun, most exciting, most abundant way to be in this world. When you feel ready, open your eyes and know how special you are to your soul and the universe. And some of the other things it suggests to nourish your body with are have a massage or a beauty treatment, experience Reiki or another healing therapy. First thing every morning, spend 5 minutes doing something you love. When you take care of your needs, you have more energy to give others. So remember, especially at this time in the timeline of 2020, in the strange place that we find ourselves in with this bizarre year, nourish yourself and take the time to do so. And keep your physical body well and healthy and active. So make sure you keep up your supplements, your vitamins, your minerals, and your immune system well activated. So Capricorn, some really lovely messages that have come through. Now I think we will briefly do this I Ching for you. So the I Ching, as I said, is a very old form of divination. Now in this particular deck we pull 2 cards. One is the present and the second one will be the future outcome of something. Now I'm not sure how this is actually going to work for a group reading per se, but what I would like you to do personally now is to focus on a situation that you are wanting an answer for. Just not necessarily a specific answer, but you might be wanting to know how an outcome of something is going to go. A little bit about the I Ching first, and which might help you to understand it. The I Ching, or Book of Changes, is one of the most revered divination systems. The I Ching is used to stimulate insights and develop strategies for managing change based on the Taoist notion of the constant dynamic interplay between yin and yang, the philosophy that all things exist in a dualistic state, hot and cold, light and dark, harmonious and dissonant, and so on. An ancient intuitive decision-making tool, the I Ching's outside-the-box perspective helps one to resolve problems and dilemmas that logic alone can't handle. It is designed not only for insight into current conditions, but also for managing changing conditions over time. Even though it is thousands of years old, it is one of the most intricate divination systems ever devised. It's a mathematical system that's in place. So sit back and ponder on this question that you would like to have an answer to. And this is for Capricorn. We are going to see how this is going to work. I'd also like to know your feedback, guys, in terms of the I Ching at the end, and whether or not it seemed relevant to you, or whether it has a success or made sense or helped you to see into a certain situation or provide you with some clarity. So here is your first card that has arrived, and it's number 47, and it's called Oppression, and it's lake above, water below. Now this card is your present card around this situation or outcome that you are thinking of. This second card that arrives is going to be your answer to it. There's 2 cards that have come, and we really only use 2 cards in this. I will pick the first card that came from the top, and it is number 58, Joy. So we have oppression and joy. Now before we go any further, those 2 cards alone may have some significance for you. They may hold a meaning, and in fact we've seen joy in this tarot reading, and especially in this, through the Ace of Cups and through some of the other ace energies as well. We've seen much joy, and we've seen oppression through energies such as this, the 10 of Swords. So at the moment they're definitely speaking some of the, they're replaying some of the energies that have come through the tarot cards. So I'm going to just zoom in on them a bit for you so you can visualize. How this is actually done is the little hexagrams that are on the sides up here are actually what we read for this card, and we read what is called the changing lines, so the different lines between the cards we read the changing lines on this card. We read out what this one actually is from its main message. So I will read that to you now. Oppression. Now bear in mind, if this is such an old divination system, some of the wording in it seems a little bit, you could say, ancient. So you have to apply your own thought to the words that come and apply them in as a modern text as you can, or as modern understanding as you can. The I Ching has managed to survive over thousands and thousands of years. It's not necessarily the way the words are written, it's the message behind it that has the power. So oppression. One image of oppression is a dried up lake bed with scavenger crows stalking the shoreline. Hard times can shrivel our spirits and give rise to a multitude of crows in the form of troublesome worries. Times of great loss or personal failure can break some people, but the strong of heart are able to bend with their fate. To endure hard times or even benefit from them, you are called upon to tap the deepest stratum of your identity, which is stronger than fate and incorruptible by even the harshest realities. During hard times, it is especially essential to tap that wellspring of human endurance, hope. In one sense, there is no such thing as failure. There is only sweet and sour reality. Often more is learned from the sour than from the sweet. As for our failures, as hard as they may be to accept, they can open our eyes, reawakening a clarity of vision only known by those who have risked and tasted disappointment. This clarity and learning is the silver lining of dark clouds. When you are in the throes of difficult circumstances, it is important to be strong on the inside while remaining quietly cheerful on the outside. Avoid too much talking except to your closest friends. Your words will have little effort on most others, since your influence will be at a low ebb, and aimless talking costs you vital energy. A strong silence is the most skillful posture when facing the public during adversity. It shows that your inner core is strong enough to withstand your current troubles, and it suggests that your recovery will be complete. At the same time, communicating openly with those you trust is also essential. In times of calamity, talking and feeling are part of the healing. For those who dare to live fully and completely, failure, the final taboo in modern society, is but one part of the inevitable cycle of life's up and downs. To never fail is to fail in the biggest way. By avoiding risk altogether, one will always fall short of what might have been. And that's oppression. So when you heard those words, think upon them in the situation that you are inquiring about, and what are they telling you specifically about the situation or about the direction to take. So that was the present of this agenda that you're inquiring about. We are now going to look at this card, Joy, to find out how it is going to move into the future. So with the second card, this is the card that points to what the future holds. So as I said, the first card is the energies around the situation at the present point in time. The second card is what the future may hold in relation to this situation that you are asking about. Now, we only read the changing lines on this card here. The changing lines from these hexagrams at the top are the two bottom lines, 5 and 6. So I go to the card number 58 for Joy, and then I read you the lines 5 and 6. And these are the possible future outcomes of this present circumstance. So now let me read to you, and some of you may find that line 5 makes more sense, and some of you may be more connected to the line 6 message. So let me read the messages out. This is the line 5, future possibility that may happen from this event. When a period of joyousness begins to degenerate, slowly but surely problems will arise. However sincere you may be, it may be easy to become involved with unworthy circumstances or people. Sincerity itself can make one vulnerable to such forces. By recognizing this tendency and guarding against it, you can avoid these pitfalls and remain safe from harm. And that has a little bit of this message as well around this. Sometimes when this card is here, it can be suggesting that people around you may be going to cause discontent or harm, or bad name you or bad mouth you, or cause pain. And actually, while we're in it, some of you may have had physical pain down through your shoulders, back or neck. There may have even been some surgical applications required around this, or some healing take place as well in that part of your body. I'd forgotten to mention that before. Now we go to the 6th line for this card, which is all about a potential outcome from this event that you've been focusing on. Pleasant circumstances do not always indicate success. Having lost touch with one's deeper self and true purpose, it is possible to be swept along by vanity and superficial pleasures, to be carried away from the sources of true joy. When this happens, it is no longer a question of good or bad fortune. When you lose control of your choices, everything is left to chance. So it sounds to me, whatever you guys have been contemplating in this event that is taking place, you are being given a lot of caution about how to proceed, because both of those lines have given you, I feel, a warning indicator. The first one was telling you that there are people that you need to be aware of, that there could be charlatans around, that they could be creating angst or problems like this that also may have arisen and creating this feeling of anxiety or tension. So there's someone around you that may not serve you well if you are thinking of aligning with them or forming a relationship with them, or creating some sort of liaison or partnership with them. And that last opportunity, or the last line, was saying, you know, make your choices very carefully, because you may be making some choices for the wrong reason. And that can, even though we've had these wonderful positive energy cards up here, and there are great opportunities around you, when you have this one, for instance, you're at a crossroads and you can go left or right, up or down. You know, you pick this person or that person. It feels as though you have got opportunities coming to you around August, and you need to be very careful about the choices you make and the decisions, the directions you go, and the decisions and the people with who you are associating with. There are some that may take advantage of you, especially if you've felt vulnerable, because vulnerability seemed to be a part of this message. So I think being cautious and optimistic at the same time, but making sure your decisions and choices are not made from an area of ego or self-fulfilling, you know, pleasure or something along those lines. I think that the messages that came out were about contemplating a deeper perspective on this event that you're looking at, like looking at it with more long-term or more broader comprehension. So there we are, Capricorn. That's your reading for August. These, as I say, are very, very new, and I'm still working my way through them. I'd love to know your comments on how you feel about them being introduced to the reading. So please leave your comments below, and also let me know what you think of the actual deck and of the messages that came through. And for those of you who are happy to do so, you know, does it make sense to you, and will it help you with a decision that you are making around this query that we put forward to you to look into? So do take care, everyone. Remember that the year is evolving, as we all are. We're moving toward the 2021 energies now. We're past that halfway grueling climb. Yeah, we're in the process of evolution at many, many levels. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you for subbing, pushing that notification bell, and for leaving your comments. And I wish you all much love and joy and success and new beginnings. Namaste.